Hi folks, this is Warbird66 and today I wanted to chat a little bit about one of the latest additions to the Parkzone fleet, the Focke-Wulf 190 A8. The Parkzone 190 is one among many other Focke-Wulfs currently on the market. Still I decided to go with a Parkzone bird. She is a bit pricey, still I like the design and the new gear Parkzone or E-Flight released for this particular bird. It's maybe not the best or the prettiest, I'm sure all of you have your own opinions about that, but it's the one I like most. Still, I was a pretty close race between this 1100mm Parkzone bird and the 1200mm free-wing version of the Focke-Wulf. So a few days ago I bought one from my local hobby shop for a very good price. Of course I bought the combo, I mean the plane including the new very cool retracts. The build of the plane, if you want to call it that, is pretty straightforward. And if you guys built or assembled it for me before, this plane is no challenge. And as expected, everything fit perfectly. Didn't even took me an hour and my new warbird was standing on my workbench, ready for her maiden. Well, not quite. The guys who watch my videos regularly already know that I have my own opinion what should be on a warbird and what not. And in case of the 190, I'm talking about the prop, a two-bladed prop. Okay, yes, it's faster and more efficient, but guys, come on. A two-bladed prop, really? That's a no-go for me. So the first thing I did was buying a spare spinner and modified it to accept the proven three-bladed prop from the Parkzone BF109. And while I was at it, I changed the ESC as well to deal with the extra amps, plus a little external BEC to make it a little bit safer. The new construction of the 190 reminded me of the Parkzone Spitfire a little. A reasonable sized plane, but when you open it you find that you don't really have that much space. Still, it was enough to fit everything in. Then I went on with the retracts. I moved it a little bit more forward by putting some washers underneath the rear mounting screws to increase the angle a little. It almost is a reflex to do that because it's never enough, and here's one thing I didn't expect it. There were no screws to install the gear. I mean, not the right ones anyway. So I got some of the countersunk screws that I had left over from my P47 and screwed the gear in place, only to find that the wheels were not straight. So I took it out again and bent the struts a little to make it more or less perfect. The cables for the gear were already installed, very convenient, and while I was working on the gear I trimmed the wheel doors a little. I know they look more or less scale, but on grass, especially high grass, they are dangerous because they tend to hook up in the grass and lead to a nice flip, which is not a good thing. Even with these little changes, it barely took me a day to prepare her for her maiden flight. And I got lucky today, we had almost perfect conditions for the first flight, so I took her out to the field. Of course she flies a little bit slower than the standard model with the two-bladed prop, but she's more than fast enough for my taste. I had set her up with 70% do rates and 35% expo and found out that she is still a pretty agile plane. She tracks very straight, even a little bit better than the P47 I would say. And I was really not disappointed. She took off like a champ with like almost no torque roll. She flew perfectly, only a little bit of fine trimming, and she cruised nice through the skies over old Berlin. She is not the best gliding plane I flew yet, but she also has no bad habits. So I had enough confidence to try a real landing, and guess what? She lands as good as she flies, and no salto on the ground either. So I guess I can say the maiden was total fun. So what can I say about the Parkzone Focke-Wulf 190 A8? Well, it is a bit pricey. Still, it's a great bird. Not a beginner plane, that's for sure, but a very nice addition for every hangar. And right after unplugging the LiPo, I started to think how I could modify her, but that is a story for another video. I hope you guys enjoyed my little maiden flight video of the Parkzone Focke-Wulf 190. A really great flyer. Well, have fun at the flying field, guys. Warbird66 out.